and superpowered mind-controlled villains. You play as a random victim of the collateral damage during a battle between Goku and Frieza, who's been revived and given powers. But once you're recruited into the Jump Force, the story takes a painfully long time to get going. Again, as you're forced to explore the base, meet Goku, Luffy, and Naruto, and pick which teams you'd like to join. It's a beginning to a story that takes about 12 hours to run through, not including a fair amount of side content. Before that, though, you're able to build a character as you see fit, giving him or her fighting style by slapping on a couple of abilities borrowed from other Jump characters. Jump Force's character creator doesn't have a ton of options, though, and it doesn't let you really customize the look of your character beyond a handful of pre-made faces, hairstyles, eyes, and so on. It does at least have several options that are obviously not to other anime characters that didn't make it onto the roster, like Karara, to just name a few. I personally went a different direction and made a bald dude dressed in all yellow, put some red gloves and boots on him, and called him Saitama from One Punch Man, the famous anime from 2016. In general, Jump Force plots takes itself a little too seriously and misses out on a huge opportunity to make some fun interactions between beloved characters that would otherwise never get a chance to meet. The bland story does no favor by the fact that most of the cutscenes are devoid of voice acting, so what few interesting interactions between characters we do get, like the one involving Christians in challenging Zoro to a duel after taking issue with his strict teaching methods, are left completely silent and lifeless. Okay. It doesn't help that give me a sec. Yeah. It doesn't help that during the cutscenes, everybody looks like they're barely animated action figures with bad lip syncing and mostly frozen facial expressions. Also, for some strange reason, Spike Chunsoft decided, as a design decision, Rurik from Death Note doesn't have any voice at all, despite everyone in the scene talking and responding to him. On top of that, the frame rate is the biggest and most important cutscenes. It's terrible. There's no way to skip them in any cutscene, and there's no English dub, so that's not great. The biggest problem with Jump Force's story mode, though, is how you have to progress through it. You're not given any waypoint to show you where you have to go for the next mission. The animations outside the actual combat are straight up bad. Upgrading your character is needlessly convoluted, and towards the end of the game, the difficulty spikes up in the worst possible way, with enemies suddenly able to shave up nearly half your health with simple combos and special moves, while the AI remains as dumb as ever. It's artificial difficulty at its worst. I'm sorry, I'm slipping up a little bit here. Give me a break. I'll say this for it. Jump Force's combat is a lot of flashy and simple fun, for the first few hours at least. Matches are 3 versus 3, with a two-button combat system made entirely up of light attacks called rush attacks and heavy attacks. Rush attacks can be matched with an auto combo that results in the opponent getting ping-ponged, oh, Jesus Christ, back and forth across this arena, while heavy attacks are much slower, but can be cancelled into about just as much as any point and rush combo. You can also close the distance extremely quickly, with either a high-speed dash tied to your team's mobility meter, or by simply tagging your teammates, which facilitates a very fast pace to the action. Oh my god. Each character comes with 4 special moves, performed by pressing the right trigger and pressing one of the face buttons. Finding the right combination of rush attacks, heavy attacks, knowing when you can throw an assist, and then knowing which special move to finish off with is generally the way the big damage combos works, or something. To its credit, Spike Chunsoft did an admirable job making sure that everything in Jump Force has some sort of counter. The auto-button combo spam can be beaten with blocks, sidesteps, or charged with armored heavy attacks. Predictable dash-ins can be blown up by invulnerable or on startup special moves and counters. Excessive guards can be broken with powerful blockades and throws. There's also an emergency escape button that allows you to get out of the combo while you're still getting hit at the expense of your mobility meter. All of this is a great start, but that's about as deep as it goes. Despite being a 3 versus 3 tag fighter, the tag mechanics feel like an afterthought, since all 3 of these characters share the same life bar. The assist maneuvers don't feel particularly well thought out. And since the combos mostly start from a rush attack, there's no real need to learn anything beyond one combo per character. This makes every kind of fight feel the same and leads to combat that gets pretty stale very quickly, and the load times are getting of getting into a match along with GT. Holy crap! Playing online or locally against friends is Jump Force's saving grace, as the AI is pretty terrible even on the hardest difficulty, and the depth of the combat is pretty bare bones and pretty basic, which doesn't work at all with the predictable and dumb AI. And so far, it's been technically smooth in that area. In my experience playing online with Penny and the dog, whatever, the brain from Animaniacs, the multiplayer has held up very well with virtually no matches that were affected by lag at all. Alright, last verdict. If you got simple-minded aliens who are down to smash some buttons and watch some sparks fly, Jump Force's fighting system allows for at least a few hours of shallow fun before it gets stale and repetitive. The bland story feels half-baked, and nothing ever feels interesting, or with its impressive roster of beloved characters who've rarely or never had a chance to meet before, making this celebration of 50 years of Weekly Shonen Jump a disappointment overall. The ranking? 6.3 out of 10. Okay. Jump Force is all flash and little substance. Even with a roster of 40 beloved characters, it fails to stick the landing. Alright, there we go.